All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin. All right, welcome back to the other side of the coin, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another live stream bringing you the latest in Chelsea transfer news and Chelsea news in the past 24 hours or so. Ladies and gentlemen, obviously the hottest topic at the moment is Romelu Lukaku. He is absolutely trending worldwide right now, all over Twitter. If you go to Twitter, you shall see Lukaku trending. Almost everyone is talking about him. I just want to say a few things. Obviously, we had our banter, we had our bit of fun and jokes yesterday post-match. By the way, shout out to Matisse hosting a really good watch along. Obviously, Eunice was there, myself. Both of us really enjoyed the watch along, and thank you to each and every one of you guys that were there for the watch along as well. Valan saying, Miz, go to sleep, brother. It's 10:47 p.m. I will go to sleep very soon. It is the weekend. It's the long weekend. I've got a day off tomorrow. Well, a lot of people in Australia have a day off tomorrow. We are celebrating the King's birthday tomorrow. So yeah, it's a day off. I can stay up a little bit longer. But yeah, as I said, the hottest topic post-match was obviously in regards to Romelu Lukaku, specifically for the Chelsea fan base, more or less. Obviously, a lot of people were still talking about Manchester City, and kudos to them for doing the treble. And what a sensational team, full of superstars, and what an unbelievable manager, what an institution that they have. But look, majority of you guys were laughing and bantering and having a joke on my latest video that I did post-match in regards to Romelu Lukaku. But there were quite a few bits and pieces, a handful of you guys that were a little bit irate about that particular video. And I want to know from you guys, why were you so irate? Have you forgotten? And this is what I want to address. And this particular live stream, over 114 of you guys live right now after 2.5 minutes. First of all, smash the like button, ladies and gentlemen. Get those likes up to well over 100. This is actually going to be a very interesting discussion, interaction with you guys. I'm going to try and bring as many comments as I can from the live chat. And if you're here for the first time, subscribe as well. Make sure you subscribe. Uncle B, wa alaikum assalam, my brother. Thank you for being here. Big up to each and every one of you guys. Kotsios, Valan Jr., man's like Oli, DHL, Don Mustaba, man like Days, Mohammed Dek, Harry, Sushant. Big up to each and every one of you guys. Brian as well. Now, I want to talk to you guys that a handful of you guys were a little bit irate about the banter, the ranting towards Romelu Lukaku. And as I said, this is the live stream. I've had my fun and my laughter, so we're going to talk serious. I just want to know, why are you guys hurt? Why are you guys hurt? Have you forgotten? Do you not remember what Romelu Lukaku did? Let me remind you guys, not the season that just finished, the season before that. So obviously the season that finished was 22-23. The one before that, 21-22. 21-22, let me remind you guys, the very first sign of adversity, it all started from that Romelu Lukaku interview. Prior to the interview, it was okay. It was going all right. I think there was a moment where we were topping the table as well in the Premier League. If you guys don't remember, Ms. Aid, Soccer Aid Watch Along, nah, man, ain't doing a Soccer Aid Watch Along. I don't even know if that's getting telecasted, to be honest. I don't know how I watch it from Australia. But going back to the topic, it was somewhat going smooth. And then it was that Romelu Lukaku unsanctioned interview. Let me remind you to those fans that feel a bit hurt now when we do a little bit of banter towards Lukaku and a little bit of jokes and fun and giggle towards Lukaku. It was an unsanctioned interview where he expressed his feelings about Inter Milan and disrespected Chelsea Football Club. He disrespected Thomas Tuchel. He disrespected, his team, which is Chelsea. And he even went on to say, Lautaro to Chelsea, no, brother, you stay at Inter Milan. I'm coming to Inter. Have we forgotten? Have we forgotten the sabotage, the self-inflicted sabotage that this particular player created? Off the back of that, he was dropped. And then the Chelsea players internally, we've seen articles back then that they were annoyed, they were hurt as well from what Lukaku did. And Lukaku, at that point, was oblivious. He was like, what did I do wrong? I just had an interview. I don't even know what I said wrong. He was so oblivious to what he did. And then his sorry that he said to the Chelsea fan base. You remember the outrage? Do you not remember? You remember the outrage, right? He then said sorry, which was so disingenuous. It was as if it came from a script. And then from there on, I remember he was dropped. He barely played. There was a game where he had about 7 touches or 6 touches. And he was so desperate to leave Chelsea Football Club. And then all throughout this season, he's been saying, I love Inter Milan. Almost to suggest I want to stay here. He has forgotten that he is still contracted to Chelsea Football Club. And I'm going to sit here and watch the performance he did yesterday and not laugh and banter and joke about that. Why wouldn't I do that? Do you know what? I don't like doing that to any player, but this player sabotaged our football club. Do not forget that, ladies and gentlemen. Do not forget that. I think some of you guys have forgotten that. This guy has disrespected Chelsea Football Club. Why should I feel sorry that he's missed some clear-cut opportunities yesterday? Why should I feel sorry for him? He mocked some of our players. These are not me making up stuff. These are comments and reports coming from really, really big publications such as The Athletic. I mean, could it have been a better script than yesterday to see Romelu Lukaku do the stuff that he did, the way he missed, point blank range stuff, and I'm going to sit here and feel sorry about him? Why? Why should I feel sorry about him? Why don't I have the right to laugh about the stuff that he did yesterday when a player has taken the liberty to make a mockery about us? Why? You let me know. You let me know in the live chat. Let me see. Like this, I found it very strange that some of you guys felt a bit hurt. Sorry, Miz, but F him and his simp or fanboys. We support the club, not the player. Exactly. Prince is saying Lukaku did this on his own self because of that interview. He made the situation worse for himself. Too bad. Yeah. He was so desperate to leave last summer. Todd Bowley's first decision was Romelu Lukaku to set him free to Inter Milan. Can you imagine? We paid 100 million for this guy. 100 million. And he still plays for Inter Milan. We paid 100 million, but he still plays for Inter Milan. And all Inter Milan gave us was a paltry, 8 million in loan fee. And I'm meant to feel sorry for him. He didn't just disrespect the Chelsea, he disrespected the Chelsea fans. 100%. 100%. Lukaku apologizing made me laugh too funny. Yeah, and it was so fake. It was so fake. This guy, let me tell you guys something now, all right? Serious talk. Because someone commented in my video that, but Miz, you said that you'd be okay to have him back. Let me say something. Like, for example, Matisse feels very strongly about Romelu Lukaku. Like, he does not want to see his face ever again. With me, I'm more of the sense that, look, I don't want him back at Chelsea because I cannot trust his character. I cannot trust the ego. He's so egotistic. That man, and now look, now that the Champions League is finished, there's going to be a whole heap of conversations whether he's going to stay at Inter Milan, he's going to come back to Chelsea Football Club. The journalists are going to have a field day. We are going to see so many reports. It's not even going to be funny, right? Because they know his name will get the clicks. It will do the rounds. I said, I don't want this guy to come back to Chelsea Football Club because I can't trust his character. He is capable of doing anything at any moment. He may tell you that, do you know what? Nah, I want to come back to Chelsea Football Club. I want to really work hard for Chelsea. I want to give the fans back what they deserve. He can say that on Monday, and literally on Tuesday, he can backstab you. Like literally 24 hours later, he can backstab you. I cannot trust this guy's character. This is one of the biggest reasons, not necessarily all for footballing reasons. And this is the difference. I don't think he's a bad footballer. Romelu Lukaku, I have seen his strengths and I've seen his weaknesses. I don't think he's a bad footballer. But I don't trust this guy's personality. I don't trust his character. And that is a huge issue because he can be erratic. On top of that, there's rumors about Pochettino possibly wanting him. I find that strange because the way Poch teams, especially Southampton or Spurs, I don't want to buy into too much of what happened in PSG. Generally, Poch teams, they press, they're relentless, they're ruthless, high intensity. Lukaku won't do that. But having said that, you can change your system around to a certain degree. You saw what Simone Inzaghi did with that Inter Milan side. I know Lukaku didn't start. He came on later on. But that Inter Milan side, they knew when to press. They weren't just pressing crazy all the time. At times, they were deep block. At times, they were mid block. But they had trigger points to press as to when to press. So you do need to adapt. You can have a Lukaku back in your team, but you need to adapt and adjust and have a different organization to accommodate for his lack of intensity and energy in pressing and off the ball work rate. You do need to compensate for Lukaku's deficiency there. But me personally, I don't want to see him. But I did say that if he does come back for a certain reason, I don't know, if Poch really wants him, then we have to have a different system to accommodate for him. There's two different. You guys need to realize what I'm saying here. There's two different conversations. One, I don't want him. Two, if he does come back, then we need to do certain things differently. That don't mean I want him. That just means what is the outlook if he does come back. In life, no limits. Big up, Miz. I'm with you. Lukaku disrespected our club. He goes on like he's bigger than the club. He deserves everything he's getting, quite frankly. I agree. His ego is huge. This guy. Miz, Lukaku can F off. I don't have any sympathy for him at all. Just terminate his contract right now. It's okay if we take a loss on this one. I won't support Poch on this one. Now, this is an interesting one. And I might put a poll out for you guys because I did a poll on Twitter. People, when they say, oh, I want to back Poch, obviously Pochettino wanted Mason. Well, he still wants Mason Mount. Well, looks like Mason Mount's on the way out. He wanted Ugarte, but apparently he didn't want us to do a madness on Ugarte because his personal terms was blown out of proportion by PSG. But a lot of you guys will agree that no, we want the manager to be back. But I do want to ask you, what if Poch wants Lukaku? Do you still want that to be back? So let me put that on the poll, see what you guys think. Let me just do that. Okay. All right. I've put that poll up. Participate on that poll. I want to see how that goes till the end of the stream. And we can circle back to that. All right, let's have a look at some of the news in regards to this, ladies and gentlemen. Inter President Steven Zhang. Romelu Lukaku showed great commitment to Inter. He's an amazing guy. He has a contract with Chelsea. We have to wait to talk to them to understand his situation. Now, at first, when I read this, I was like, oh, looks like Inter Milan probably don't want him. But it's this line here. He has a contract with Chelsea. We have to wait to talk to them to understand his situation. You wouldn't want to talk to us about Lukaku if you were not keen. It seems like Inter President is kind of hinting they'd probably be open to taking Lukaku back again. And I'm all open for that. I'm all okay with that. We have to find a solution for Romelu Lukaku. Now, personally, I don't want him back at Chelsea Football Club. I really don't. And I hope all these rumors about Poch wanting him is not true. But it's the same people that have been, reporting that Poch wants Mount, Poch wanted Ugarte. It's the same people that's been saying that Poch could potentially want Romelu Lukaku, and I think our Chelsea board wants us to see if Lukaku's interested. But I don't think he is. I don't think Romelu Lukaku is one bit interested in coming back to Chelsea Football Club. We have to find a solution. If Inter Milan are keen for another loan, let's do it. Me personally, I'd like to get a permanent solution for Romelu Lukaku as opposed to another loan. There's still 3 years left in his contract. What's another loan going to do? At the end of next season, we have the same problem again. Does he come back to Chelsea? This, that, the other. My best preference would be if a Saudi team comes in. If a Saudi team comes in knocking on our door for Romelu Lukaku, do the deal. Do the deal. He'll get paid a lot of money in Saudi Arabia, and his ego can be out of control over there. No problems. They allow for egos to be out of control in those parts of the world because money is not a factor. They'll pay you enough money and you can have your ego go wild. But me personally, I can't see this guy coming back. He's just going to disrupt the situation. He's going to rattle the existing players unnecessarily. And then one sort of moody situation, he could just flip on the football club, and then Poch will find it difficult, much like how Thomas Tuchel found it difficult. So I don't want this guy back one bit. Just accept any offer for any money on him. Also, they keep Lautaro too. We'll talk a little bit about Lautaro. In fact, let's talk a little bit about Lautaro now. Look, I've been quite adamant about Lautaro Martinez over the past couple of weeks since we got linked to him. That maybe a couple of seasons ago, Lautaro Martinez, I think he looked like a legit player on the rise. But this season specifically, and the World Cup as well, I'm not convinced, man. I'm really not. And I'm not talking about just off the back of watching yesterday's final. No. I've been on this stance since we've been linked. Lautaro Martinez is a good player. I'm not going to lie. He's a good player. But I think he's going to get demolished in the Premier League. You saw when he came across Man City. Obviously, Man City is the toughest test out there, but Premier League ain't going to be easy for him. First of all, I don't think he's a lone number 9. And I'm not really sure how much his combination with Nkunku playing just behind Lautaro Martinez. I'm not sure how much that's going to work out. I think Lautaro is probably at his best when he has a Romelu Lukaku up front. Some people compared Lautaro with Aguero. Aguero was miles ahead, man. Lautaro's technical ability is there, but Aguero technically was so sound. His dribbling ability, his ability to drop the shoulder and just go the other way. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Like if we're thinking Lautaro Martinez as a striker for us, I think that is going to be detrimental, massively detrimental in the Premier League. Never wanted him, even when there was a hype about him when we signed him. I was extremely annoyed and disappointed when we signed him. Yeah, a lot of people were actually disappointed when we signed Romelu Lukaku. Lautaro is a midget striker, must be tall. I mean, look, that's not a necessity. I mean, you saw what Aguero did, Luis Suarez, Carlos Tevez. These guys are supreme strikers. You don't necessarily need a tall striker. I mean, obviously that's an added help. Sometimes tall strikers can't even header. Like, for example, Tammy Abraham. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know Havertz, we don't deem him as a striker. Havertz is tall. He barely scores headers. Do you know what I mean? I think we should get Osimhen. If he flops, then we should never, and I mean never, get an expensive striker ever again. Do you know what? If we are able to get rid of all the players that we're rumored to get rid of, I don't know, man. Like, maybe we might give Osimhen an opportunity. Like, we could potentially try and do this quite late in the piece in the transfer window, because by then, obviously, June 30th is when we have to balance our books. After that, the new accounting period starts. So we could potentially go for someone like Osimhen. Now, the question is, why would Osimhen join a club that is not in the Champions League, that is not even in Europe, full stop? It don't make sense. Now, if we perhaps break the bank and pay Napoli unbelievable amount of money, which I think no other club is looking to do at the moment, and pay Osimhen quite a lot of wages, then yeah, because money talks. Money talks. At the end of the day, money talks. Miz, for me, no to Lautaro. We want Osimhen or Kane. I don't care. Splash money on striker and DM massively needed. Kane is not happening, brother. Kane is simply not happening. Simply not happening. Was it Kane or who was it that commented recently? There was some quotes that was out. I can't remember who the quotes came out from. The quotes were from someone. I can't remember exactly. But they said, forget about Harry Kane joining Chelsea. He's just not going to leave Spurs to join Chelsea. It ain't going to happen. All right, next up, ladies and gentlemen, Andre Onana. I'm so happy at Inter at this professional level. You never know what happens. I'm available for Inter. They decide and I will accept what they want. I'm happy at Inter. I mean, look, he is saying he's happy at Inter. I don't expect him to say any other sort of notion. Like, I don't expect him off the back of the Champions League final to say, I dislike being in Inter Milan and, I want to leave. Of course, he's going to say what he just said. All I'm going to say is that with the right amount of money, I think we can get Onana. And Onana really impressed me. Really, really impressed me yesterday. And, not that I needed yesterday to be impressed. I was always impressed with Onana. My first choice is, of course, Mike Maignan. That's my number one selection. He's just a stupendous goalkeeper. Onana, I've always said, he has some erratic behavior every now and then. Sometimes he's a bit wild. He'll come out of the box and sweep a keeper, some madness that he does. But overall, I've said he's a good shot stopper. His distribution has always been better than some of the other goalkeepers that we've been linked with, in the likes of Emiliano Martinez and David Raya. We saw yesterday Andre Onana. At times, he was playing like a regista. He was literally splitting the two defenders and he was in the middle playing as a regista when they were 1-0 down, obviously, in the second half. This guy, some of those distributions were sensational. There were one or two passes. If they got intercepted, I think he would have been trouble. But ball playing ability should not be a problem for Onana. Ball playing ability 100% should not be a problem for Onana. And the other factor that I really like about Onana is he's a bit of a character, you know. He really is a bit of a character. He's a feisty character. He squares up with the players. He may even square up with his own teammates. And he's there as a motivational factor. You know, if things get tough, he'll be in your face trying to motivate you and lift you up. His character is going to be important for Chelsea Football Club and important for the dressing room. I think so. Velan, you're right. Onana got that S-housery, 100%. I have no issues for us to getting rid of Mendy or Kepa, send them to Inter Milan, and get Onana. And as Fabrizio Romano said, off the back of that news when it dropped for Mike Maignan, that AC Milan value Mike Maignan at £85 million, apparently. Like, this is what Fabrizio was saying. Fabrizio was saying that, look, in AC Milan's mind, Mike Magnan's worth about £85 million. Pretty much, you cannot sell him. Even though he's disgruntled about the situation that Maldini got sacked, they don't want to sell him. Onana, however, is a particular goalkeeper Fabrizio said that one of our board members really, really appreciate. So Onana, for me, I think is probably the bigger focus at the moment. As much as I want Mike Maignan, may not happen. What's this hype over Kolo Muani, a striker that can't even bag 20 goals in Bundesliga? Let's not let desperation rate some below par players. Look at Havertz. Have you not had enough? Mindo, I hear you. Like, you're scarred, and I'm scarred with Bundesliga as well. I'm not gonna lie, but Kolo Muani, it's not just about the 20 goals in Bundesliga. I think he's one of the very few players that's got 10 goals, 10 assists in European football. I don't know what his final count was for Kolo Muani. I think it's well above 10 goals. Maybe it might have been 15 goals. But his goals and assists combined, like, he got a lot. And I get it. It's in the Bundesliga. But I think he's far more technical. Like, he looks like he's a lot more robust. He's got a lot of pace. He seems like he's quite powerful. He's physical as well. Kolo Muani, even for France, looked really good too whenever he came off the bench. So, look, I'm not going to say to you that, how you're thinking is not warranted. It of course is. But I think he's a very, very good player. I really do think Kolo Muani is a top player. I don't think we're going to get him, though. Frankfurt are pricing him out. Frankfurt are really pricing Kolo Muani out. They want 100 million euros on Kolo Muani. And if anything, I think Kolo Muani is potentially moving to Bayern Munich. So I don't think we're going to get him. Look, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, nearly 500 of you guys are live. This is an interesting one to talk about, one that I'm a little bit passionate about, and I want to see how you guys feel about this. But before we go on to that news, ladies and gentlemen, well over nearly 500 of you guys are live right now. I would love to see minimum 300 likes whilst we're in the live stream right now. Please smash the like button. If you're enjoying the conversation, enjoying the interaction, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, make sure you subscribe. Let's do that immediately. Ladies and gentlemen, this particular news has annoyed me when I saw this yesterday. I didn't report on it yesterday because obviously we had the Champions League final, the watch along, and then after that we talked about Lukaku. But this dropped just before the match. AC Milan are watching Chelsea's English playmaker, Carney Chukwuemeka. The player could move on loan with the right to buy. This is from Di Marzio. And when it comes to sort of Italian-based news, you can definitely believe in Di Marzio. If AC Milan are interested, and it kind of makes sense, they seem to have gone cold on Romelu Lukaku because of his age. And they're now interested in Carney Chukwuemeka because he's younger, of course, and he's a talented player. Me personally, ladies and gentlemen, I find this strange. I find this mad. Chelsea should do their level best to integrate him in next season. I don't know why Alexander saying PYS discredited the report. Did he? I thought he actually said, no, this was true. I saw somewhere he commented this is actually true. I'm not sure if he really discredited it. If he did, send me the link if you can. Send me the link. But nonetheless, I can somewhat believe, whether it's AC Milan, I don't know, but I can somewhat believe that Chelsea Football Club might want to send this guy on a loan. I can somewhat believe that. Because the way Chukwuemeka was treated the season that just finished, I find it strange. Graham Potter really didn't utilize him. Frank Lampard definitely didn't utilize him enough. There was only a bit of games that he got earlier on in this season against Man City, and he looked really good. He was probably one of the better players against Man City earlier on in the season. And then late on in the season, Frank Lampard was forced to give some minutes to Carney Chukwuemeka because of the injuries we had in midfield. But I don't understand why these managers didn't want to give someone like Carney Chukwuemeka an opportunity in midfield when we lacked in midfield all throughout the season. Kovacic was injured, Kante was injured, Mason Mount on and off the team at the end when the contract situation was roaming around, he was dropped. I don't understand why these managers didn't fancy him, and it makes me think, what's going on? Are they not impressed by him in training? He comes across a very, very stand-up person, and he comes across someone who's extremely talented footballer. We should be investing our time to develop him. This is what I get so annoyed about. Like, we at times look at all these other clubs and we go, wow, like for instance, Brighton. Oh, look at the way they develop their players, Caicedo and Trossard and McAllister and Basuma. And we get so in awe about these other clubs when they do develop their young players. And then we're not keen to develop our young players, our talented young players. I'm not saying just willy-nilly now just give minutes to any youngster out there. No, especially the talented ones. Levi Colwell, Lewis Hall. Lewis Hall, look, he is talented. There is a conversation to be had. Can we actually give him a lot of minutes? If we can't, he should be on loan. But Carney Chukwuemeka, like this guy was sensational for Aston Villa the season before last season. He was a very, very good player for them. He played quite a handful of matches and he did well. I truly hope Poch has a plan for Carney Chukwuemeka and actually tries to integrate him into our system. I hope he has a strong preseason, but I get the feeling for some reason, I think we're looking to loan him out. We seem to be more interested to perhaps giving an opportunity to Santos and Casady as opposed to Chukwuemeka. And I find that quite strange. As much as I like Santos and Casady and they should potentially get a chance, no problems. But Chukwuemeka, we spent decent amount of money as well. We spent nearly 20 million on him. I don't get why we don't want to utilize him. Let's see what you guys are saying before we slowly wrap things up. Chelsea are a long way for competing for major titles. Investing in talented youth is the right time in your rebuild under Poch. Oh, well said. Carney is top talent and has proven it in games like United, Brentford. Please keep him. No, absolutely. Digital Film Reviews, thank you so much for the super chat. There is no plan for him. It was a scattergun buy. Yeah, absolutely no plan for him. I'm sick of entertaining these stories. Calvin Phillips and Julian Alvarez spent a whole season on the bench and it's okay. Now Chelsea trolls want rid of Chukwuemeka to play elsewhere. Yeah, look, I don't want him to go. I want him to stay at Chelsea and I want Chelsea to integrate him, to find a way to integrate him into the team. Chelsea FC is the type of club to scout a Messi type of prospect and to sell him because he isn't a finished prospect. Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. It's so contradictory. Sometimes we don't identify the players who are good and develop them. We have messed up many times. We sign such players if we don't have any plan to develop such players. No, you're right. What is the thought process? We go out there and we buy these sort of players and then we don't have any plans for them. I'd never do business with these Milan fools. They'll loan him and want to buy for 500,000. Now, you know what? He could potentially go to Serie A and absolutely blow up. And then we'll probably have a buy option for them, and they end up buying him for cheap, and then they're going to make 100 million player out of him. Eventually enough, he'll get a Premier League move again, and someone's going to buy him for 100 million. That's what happens, right? That's what happens. Someone else cashes in on our players, and it's mad. Why don't we give AC Milan Pulisic, Ruben Loftus-Cheek, and Mendy for Magnan, and everybody is happy? Look, I don't think Magnan is 85 million. Like, that's just mad. I think Magnan should be around 60 max. Like, if I know the touted price for Onana is about 60 million pounds, but that's too much for goalkeeper. Onana should be around 40, 45, 50 max, and Magnan should be around 60, maximum 65. 85 million for a goalkeeper? Wow. All right, we're going to slowly wrap things up. Take a couple of more comments. I don't know how you would sell his ball control and awareness and Nit know there is a player in there. We would regret it because Chukwuemeka is a gem. Now, 100% is a gem. 100%. All right. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, let's see another comment. I understand what Chelsea want to loan him, but I would keep Carney to help him develop for the future. And 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Make sure you smash the like button before you go. Please, that helps out the channel massively. And subscribe. Let's go towards 24,000 subscribers. I'm going to end the poll after 309 votes. 49% have said Poch is clueless. So I think that pretty much says how you guys feel about Romelu Lukaku coming back to Chelsea Football Club. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, see ya.